About 2 years ago, I built this roll-around kitchen island, and if you'll stick around to the end, I'll show you just how well it's holding up. I was commissioned a while back to build a rolling kitchen cart. It was to be the same height as the existing cabinets, have a solid wood top, and have casters on it large enough that it could be wheeled outside and used with the grill. My boards are just slightly wider than my jointer head. This is a 6-inch jointer, and you see the blades don't quite cover all of it. So I'm going to have to use a different method. As you can see, I have removed the safety guard. So obviously you need to be careful because there's nothing covering the blade. I used my hand plane to remove the slight lip that was left since this board was wider than my jointer. Then I was able to run it through the thickness planer and even up the other side. Sometimes when you're designing something, you have to kind of lay it out and look at it before you really realize exactly how you want it. And that was definitely the case with this. I knew I wanted a couple of stripes in the top of this kitchen cart to be maple, but I didn't know how wide and what position actually. And once I got it all together, I realized that I think I like it better with the maple stripes being a little thinner and offset like this. I have marked out all of the spots that I want to put my dowels in. I'm going to use dowel joinery to put all these different pieces together, and I'll actually be using these dowel centers. Once I drill on one side, I'll stick this in and mark the other side so that I know exactly where it will line up. I have put a flag at about 5/8 of an inch on my drill bit here. And I'm going to drill 1/2-inch holes because that's the size dowel and dowel centers that I have. Now that I have my holes drilled, I will get my dowel centers and I will put them in there. Now I will line them up with the chalk lines I drew and give it a good press to make a mark. Well, I'm calling an audible. I drilled all of these holes without a dowel jig and without a drill press, and they are inexact to say the least. So as I made all of my dowel pins to put in there, which took forever and I've wasted a lot of time, they don't seem to want to align as well as I could just doing a regular glue up with clamping pressure and plenty of glue. So I think I'm abandoning the dowel idea, and I am just going to glue them together like I would a cutting board or anything else. It'll be plenty sturdy. Thanks to Jay Bates, I have my layout, my cutting diagram already. His wonderful tutorials in Sketchup have been a huge help to me. I basically had never used it before, and just by watching some of his videos was able to learn it, learn the shortcuts, and now learn how to lay it all out. I'm going to be wrapping the corners of the whole cabinet with, I'm using 1x6 pine, but I'm going to be ripping it down into strips, kind of case out each corner. I glued it to the clamps. A crack kind of developed after I put this top together, so I used some 2-part epoxy and just filled it in. A little bit of sanding, and then it was time to put my maker's mark on it. I squared it up at the table saw, and then I put some blue tape down to prevent tear out. And there you have it, very little tear out. I used 100% tung oil for the finish, and I did 2 coats, letting it dry about 12 hours in between. I'm just going to use pocket holes for the face frame and put it all together. So the original plans for this kitchen cart were to have 4 drawers, but the height of it, excluding the casters, is only like 32 inches. So by the time you squeeze 4 drawers in there, they're very small. So yesterday, I'm actually building this for my neighbor. I walked next door and asked him, because I had the gut feeling that these drawers were too small, even though they were built by his plans. And he verified that they're too small. He wants to eliminate 1 drawer so that then 3 drawers can be larger. So I'm now going to recut the sides and false fronts and back, and then the drawer fronts for these drawers to accommodate the different height. I used some spackling to fill the nail holes, as well as some parts of the plywood that did not look great. Then I applied a driftwood stain, which is kind of a light gray. The paint was chosen by the client to match their cabinets, and it went on nicely with this mini roller. I forgot to put a line with the saw all the way around to accept my tabletop fasteners. So a friend of mine, one of my neighbors, has a Festool domino, and we cut some little slots that would accept the tabletop fasteners that I'm using. The inside of the drawers got a quick coat of spray lacquer. I had to add these stretchers since the cabinet was wider than the drawer slots, and then I put on the drawer slides. For the casters, I used 2 that did not swivel and 2 that did, and were double locking casters. Then I added the hardware for the drawers, as well as the pipe handle to hold the towel, and it was pretty much done. I used the handy little trick of sticking the screws through a piece of cardboard so that I could paint them black. I thought it would be interesting to catch up with this cabinet that I built for my neighbors now almost 2 years ago and see exactly how it's holding up, how they're using it. They have a ton of storage in here that they use for all kinds of utensils and drink cups. They don't end up wheeling it outside as much as they thought they would, but it has been a nice addition to the kitchen and still looks really great. Thanks for watching.